I get up to the gate and they're like, yeah, we need your pass. I'm like, yeah, it's under all this.
And you're not allowed to take it off.
Yeah, I can't take off the suit. You can't give up the illusion.
Right.
It might scare some little kid if I took my head off. Hey.
Hey, Tony, I'm super excited to meet you. Thanks very much for joining the call today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. So in this podcast, what we're trying to do is really figure out who the people are that are connected to the motorcycle racing industry, or how does a motorcycle, fit in their lifestyle? How are they connected to other people who ride bikes? So it's really, a deep dive into the people who ride bikes, people who associate themselves with bikes, and then people who are in the motorcycling industry. One of the first things I found out about you is that you were the man in the Geico suit at races. How does that happen?
Well, I had a friend who was working for that team that year, Brian Poland. And she's like, hey, why don't you come work for me? And then when I got down there, she's like, hey, I got this job for you. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. She's like, you're going to wear this suit. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'll do the hospitality thing. I'm not wearing the suit. She's like, come on. So I like hung out for like half a day. I'm like, all right, I'll put the suit on. And I wore it for that weekend, and that was at Road Atlanta. That's the first time I'd been there. Been there for doing that. Yeah. I'd actually helped her like the previous year when she was on the Corona team. This is for the Geico team. It was newly established, like the first year for DMG, taking over American road racing. So that's pretty fun because nobody knew I was in the suit. And I would wave at my friends at the track. You'd be like, did that Gecko just like wave at me? So I would tell him later, I'm like, dude, why didn't you wave back when I waved at you? He's like, what are you saying? What are you talking about? I haven't seen you all day. I'm like, yeah, that was me in the suit.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I'm actually very envious of the fact that you were in the suit, and I'll tell you why. Over here in Toronto, Canada, we have this place called Canada's Wonderland. Okay, yeah. If you don't know what Canada's Wonderland is, think of it as a very ghetto version of like a Six Flags Darien Lake kind of thing. You know what I mean? And we already know Six Flags is mediocre at best, right? So now you got to think about like a really, really cheesy version of that in Canada. I mean, it was so cheesy that one of our famous rides was like, I think like Flintstones, because Paramount at one time had bought Canada's Wonderland. They called it Paramount's Canada Wonderland, and everything was Hanna-Barbera, right? And then when they finally sold that business off, they just put like Snoopy stickers on and called it Snoopy Land, right? So I was 16. I was looking for a job. And when I applied, I said, hey, can I be one of the guys in the suit? And they're like, well, do you have any acting experience? And I'm like, no. They're like, oh, you can't be in the suit then. So have you had acting experience, or did they just throw you in cold?
No, just threw me in cold. I mean, I act like I like my job and act like I like people, but I don't really like them.
Did you get paid? Wasn't a volunteering job, was it?
No, I got paid for that.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
now,
he would pay me per race.
Okay. Does it get hot? And how do you stay cool?
It does get hot, and luckily I didn't make like the hottest round that year. And that was at Sonoma. They actually put a friend of mine, a girl, in there. But of course, all the guys at the track thought it was me, so they were messing with her. And she's like, no, stop. It's not him. I'm a girl. And they said it was like over 100 degrees that day.
Wow.
But it helps when it's cold, because when I went to Road America for the first time, it was like perfect that Friday when we got there. It was like 75 sunny. But then it was like 50 down to 45. I think it snowed that weekend. So I was the warmest person there because I was in the suit the whole time.
Yeah.
But of course, the guys from Geico were like, hey, that suit's pretty expensive. Try to keep it try to keep it from getting wet. I'm like, okay.
Meanwhile, it's snowing. It's a blizzard. They're like, try to stay dry.
I can't do much. It's like, keep the umbrella over me.
Yeah. Today, I see you've got a Ducati shirt on. What do you ride, and what is your favorite bike up until what you ride now? Or maybe is what you ride now your favorite bike?
Yeah, the Ducati Street Fighter is probably my favorite bike. And then I just got a Ducati Diavel last year. Picked it up used from somebody after riding a friend of mine's. And my girlfriend almost fell off the back because I hit the throttle and I didn't know it was going to take off like that.
And she didn't bother to hold on.
Well, she wasn't really paying attention. I was going around a corner. And as soon as I started the upright, I hit the throttle and it just took off on me. I'm like, whoa.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, so that is by far your favorite bike. Is there something else that you'd want to be on?
The new Street Fighter.
Your Street Fighter.
The
What
V4.
years?
The new,
What
mine's
years?
mine's a 848.
Okay.
It's a 2012.
Okay.
I looked for a 1098, but nobody wanted to sell it for a reasonable price. I wanted a 1098S. And everybody said the 848 was actually better seating position. You weren't as cramped and braking was better. Other things, the throttle wasn't as abrupt. So I found a deal on one, so I just went ahead and picked that up. Plus, I'm just riding around on the street, so.
Yeah. Did you have to sell a bike to trade up, or did you just straight up purchased it?
Now, really, since my first bike, I haven't had to finance anything. I would just sell a bike and buy a new one.
Nice. Yeah.
So, yeah. So over the years, a friend of mine, he started buying the bikes off of me. So I would sell it. If I'm getting rid of one, I'd just call him and say, hey, you want to pick this up? And he's like, yeah. He'll tell me how much, and we'll agree on the price. And he'll just come pick it up. He'll ride it around for a little bit, and he'll just sell it. Okay. So I had a GSX-R 1000, 2006 before that.
Okay. Okay.
But when the Street Fighter came out, I've always wanted one.
Right.
But since Ducatis are so expensive, I just had to wait 7, 8 years for the price to come down.
No, I hear you. Well, I still have a very old bike. I still ride a CBR 929. So, it's an old ass bike, but hey, it gets me around and I'm still allowed to ride it. My significant other, she still says, you know what, you can ride it. But like she knows the day I sell that bike, the next day I'm going to go buy something new and then she's just going to lose it. Right. So she's letting me keep it.
Oh, I've been told that I can buy the new Street Fighter as long as we get rid of all the bikes in the garage right now.
How many do you have?
There's 3 in the garage right now because my girlfriend has the Monster 696.
Right.
She's like, I'll even get rid of mine so you can get that one. I'm like, oh, really? It's like, yeah, I'm not ready to fork out $25,000 for a bike. So
no, they're getting pretty expensive. Have you ridden or seen an e-bike, like a proper?
I have seen them.
Yeah.
I actually got on the live wire Harley.
Okay.
At the International Bike Show this year, and they actually put you on I guess it's like a dyno, so you can actually ride it inside the arena. But it's like he's like, yeah, just hold the throttle and don't go over 60. I don't know what would have happened, but I might have lipped up to 63. That's about it. But yeah, it's so quiet. I'm like, oh, it's on, and you just rev and it's just weird because I'm reaching for the clutch. I'm like, oh yeah, there isn't one.
Huh? And I mean,
sorry, go throttle. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think I wouldn't say like a super loud pipe, but a louder pipe. I think it's a safety feature, right?
Yeah, I would need one.
Yeah. So it'd
be like that movie that what was that one movie? I forget the name of it. They were doing an electric car, but they had to make the engine sound like it was like a Mustang or something. I would need something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be regulated. I drive an electric vehicle today.
Oh, okay.
And right now I still have the ability to turn off the sound, right? Yeah. But in a couple of years, it's going to be mandated that you have to have like a sound associated with that car. Because I surprise old people all the time. Like when I'm at a mall, like I drive super slow to the point the woman's like, yo, why are you driving so slow? I'm like, if I drive fast, I creep up on people and scare the crap out of them, right? So I can't imagine a bike being any better.
Yeah, exactly.
When it comes to like riding motorcycles and stuff, what got you into it?
So when I was a kid, I think one of my dad's friends was like hiding his motorcycle at our house, on the side of our house. So
Nice.
I would always go out in the backyard on the side of the house and sit on it like almost every day. And then I finally, when I got to college, I met a friend and he actually rode motorcycles. I was like, oh, that's cool. So eventually he got his newer bike after his brother wrecked his. He had an old Nighthawk 750.
Right.
So he ended up getting a Suzuki Katana.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, hey, I want to get one of those. He's like, all right, I'll teach you how to ride. So he taught me how to ride real quick. He's like, just go straight and I'll turn the bike around. Just get off and I'll turn around. I'm like, okay. So he helped me go get my first bike, which is a Suzuki GS 500. It's like a 89.
Yeah. Those are pretty good bikes, and guys would used to always modify with to put in a full fairing in the bottom, right? Did you do that, or did you just leave it?
No, it had the half fairing on it already, the little scoop at the bottom of the engine. Right. So I didn't need to get that. So I rode that around for about a year, and I ended up getting a GSXR 750 the next year.
Okay. Cool. So I gotta ask. I mean, with everything that's going on these days, are you staying in? Are you being a good boy? What's going on? What's your routine like?
We're staying in every day, working till 3 o'clock, and then we go out for a walk.
Yeah.
That's our time in the yard from being in prison all day. Our 1 hour of daylight. So we go walk for like 3 miles.
Yeah. Now, do you encounter people, or are you living in a densely populated area?
I didn't think it was that densely populated until we start going out walking. Depending on what time we go, there's going to be a ton of people out there with their kids taking up the whole sidewalk. So we end up hopping off and walking in the street till we get around them, and then we get back on.
Yeah, it's similar over here. You know what's weird? My house is really close to a school.
Yeah.
And there's one dude who drives his kids to the school every day at 3 p.m., lets them out and lets them ride around the parking lot on their bicycles. And it's like the same guy, same car, same kids. And I'm like I understand. I do. You know, when you got kids, you got to let them out. But really, you don't own the public parking lot. Right. And it's gotten to the point where there was actually 2 cops sitting there the next day. I think someone else was complaining.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was surprised.
Yeah, I actually have a elementary school at the start of my development. I haven't seen anybody taking their kids up there to ride around. I've seen people teaching their kids how to drive in the roundabout up there where they drop off the kids. And yet the other day we saw these 2 kids racing their cars coming out, trying to get sideways and drift. But no, not much after that. Oh. So we started walking and taking the route that nobody wants to go, like up a hill. So we started going that way, and then all of a sudden, all these people start following us. I'm like, where the hell these people come from? So we're trying to social distance. I did do a social distance ride the other day. I took off Wednesday to go ride with some friends of mine. We stayed 6 feet apart. But there's always that one guy when we parked. One guy rolled up next to me. I'm like, whoa, no, 6 feet. So he backed up and parked over. And then the last guy comes in and he just squeezes right in between the 3 of us. I'm like, oh, okay, you just had to be that guy.
It's actually not hard to social distance when you're riding with a group of friends. I mean, it's basically just one bike length apart, right? Because my bike, my Honda is about 6.5 feet, maybe. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. Well, it's kind of easy as long as you're staggered, right? It's easy to judge that. It's easy. And
if the road gets too narrow, we end up going single file and leaving each other space.
Yeah.
But it was a good run. We did about 150 miles.
Oh wow!
I did 150 round trip.
Dang, that's a decent ride.
But yeah, I used to do like 500 in a weekend. That's Saturday and Sunday.
That's the one thing I never got into. I never got into long distance ride with a sport bike. I just can't do it.
It wasn't long distance riding. We were just out riding. We would like meet up and go for a ride, and it didn't matter how far away it was. To get to twisty roads, we just have to drive a little. We have to ride a little bit around here.
Okay, so you're not in a suit anymore.
Nope. That was a one season thing. Thank goodness. Yeah, so I actually started shooting photos like that next season with the next team.
Oh, okay. And how's that going? Is that still something you're passionate about doing, or?
Yeah, so now it's like I can't go to a race without at least having my camera with me and taking photos.
Yeah.
I have to do something. So I used to be around in the truck or taking photos. And then, like, if MotoGP, if we were racing with them at Laguna or Indy or some other place, Rion would have to tell me, he's like, hey, go watch the race. I'm like, well, you know, I really watch it when I get home anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, sometimes we can get up on top of the rig and watch the race from there.
That's pretty sweet. That's something I've never done. So
yeah.
So you obviously, I mean, like you said, I think before we started the show, we kind of talked about it. There's no real money left in you know, taking pictures, you know, because nowadays with DSLR, with everything technology the way it is, you literally could strap, you know, a camera on a monkey's head and just let it run around the track, and eventually he or she will be able to take a, you know, a pretty good looking picture. But you know, what do you still enjoy about, you know, taking pictures or the sport of motorcycle racing? Is just the aspect of taking pictures? What is it that you love about it still?
Yeah, it's still the aspect of taking pictures and getting a view like a lot of people don't get because they're not on the track or on the side of the track, or doing it from my perspective, especially at Coda where they have all the extra space is painted with red, white, and blue and the stars and stripes all over the place. Making that visual effect for people that can't go or they don't get that view from the cameras on TV or where they're sitting around the track. And plus the different speeds you can take the photos with, different angles the bikes are at. So you just give people a different perspective of the whole race.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I tried it. You know, we have a mutual friend, Dan Lowe. So he actually got me into photography, and I tried it, and I realized I'm just not good at it. We have the exact same camera, and it's like, how is his picture, you know, 1,000 times better than mine, right? And I really do think, you know, jokes aside, even though I say you can strap a camera on a monkey's head and have him take one amazing picture, honestly, to be consistent, there's talent there for sure.
Yeah. And he's very talented with his DLMMs, I tell him. His Dan Lowe Moneymakers.
I never heard of that.
So he'll take me to different spots on the track if he's there. Yeah. He's like, yeah, so I like to do it from this angle. So I'll take pictures there. And then after he posts up his pics, I'm like, mine don't look anything like that.
I'm sure he's being modest. I'm sure you're being modest. I'm sure they're pretty. I've seen your pictures on Facebook. They look actually really good.
Thank you.
What is one of the most memorable, you know, moments you've had on and off the track? Have you done, by the way, have you done racing yourself? Have you done some races?
I have not raced.
Okay.
I haven't raced. Okay. I haven't done track day.
Okay.
I have ridden on the track, but that was on the scooter. I rode at Miller. We weren't supposed to, but I did anyway. I don't care.
Yeah, that's fine. You gotta. But is there a great moment that you'll remember for the rest of your life at one of these races, kind of thing?
Probably. So I had the suit on at Barber, and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna go over to this spot, like the vendor area." So they took me over in the car, but they don't really fit in a car with that big head on, so it's kind of uncomfortable. So they're like, okay, we're going to head back now. I go, I think I'm just going to walk. Or I'm going to take, they use a little trolley going around the track, a shuttle. I was like, I'm going to take the shuttle. I go to be more comfortable. So I just hop on the truck. I just hop on the shuttle with everybody else, just like a regular person. Right. But then I get up to the gate and they're like, yeah, we need your pass. I'm like, yeah, It's under all this.
And you're not allowed to take it off.
Yeah, I can't take off the suit. You can't give up the illusion.
Right.
It might scare some little kid if I took my head off.
Yeah.
That's probably the only one.
Were you able to talk your way through?
Yeah, they let me in.
Okay. You can always come back to the pit
Yeah.
and see that it's me, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
You know, yeah.
Oh, and I think that same year is when they had the we had like I think 2 or 3 tornado warnings at Barber. And if you've ever been there, there's only really a couple buildings. There's if you're in the track, there's only the tower, the media center building, and then there's the bathrooms. So
Right.
it's like run for shelter. I'm like, there is no shelter here.
I'm not going to the bathroom. I've seen those porta potty videos.
And the whole track is under this one area,
Right.
under the building, the one building that's there. And then there's people up on the hill in that bathroom.
Right.
That's it.
I'm not going in. I'm not running into the bathroom. I've seen that one video where the guy's in a porta potty and the crane knocks it over and it picks him up and he's drenched. I'm like, bro, no, man. And that's God telling me I'm done. Take me to the wind with the wind. I'm good.
Yeah, so it was tornadoes. It was raining. There was thunderbolt, lightning strikes off like within 5 miles of the track.
Dang.
And then it just cleared up like nothing ever happened. We kept racing.
Dang. And then they kept saying, "Guy, don't get the suit wet. Whatever
Yeah.
you do. If you got struck by lightning,
I didn't have the suit on then.
Oh, okay. What is going on with MotoGP, for example? Has the races been canceled, or what have they decided? I don't even know.
They haven't canceled any races. They just keep postponing them. So the last 2 rounds, which I was supposed to go to the Italian round in Mugello this year, they've already canceled my flight. They canceled my flight going there, but they never canceled my flight coming home. They postponed the race, so we're trying to get our money back for the tickets because they haven't even given a date because right now they don't even know if they're going to even have a season.
Right.
I know MotoAmerica has canceled VIR, which is technically my home race. They couldn't come to an agreement of a date with the track, so they had to let that one go.
Okay.
And haven't heard anything else since.
Now, if they're going to postpone their races, are they going to collapse them so that you have to race every weekend? Are they canceling races? What do you think the season would look like if they were going to still continue?
The way it's looking, since most of them would be in Europe, except they would be coming here. Coda's supposed to be in November. So it's going to be a lot of races like October, November. Every weekend in November will be a race.
Wow.
But I think to have it considered to be a championship, they have to have at least 13 rounds.
You think they're going to do 2 races a weekend? Or is that too crazy?
Yeah, I don't see them doing 2 races a weekend.
No.
That'd be nice, but I don't see them doing that.
Yeah.
Since it's so much more expensive than a production bike.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought about that. Because they don't account for that extra wear and tear, right?
Right.
I've heard from Dan, you guys slummed it pretty hard when you're in hotels and stuff. You know, Dan was. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're like shacking up with like at least 4 people in our room just to keep the cost down so we could manage traveling to all the races that season.
That's something people don't realize, right? Like the sacrifices you make, right? Just to get that one shot. You literally could sleep with 4 of the guys on like a king size bed, and but besides he's like he's got his arm over or whatever, and you're like, dude, what are you doing? But yeah, like I have done that for sure. Not as the guy who threw his arm over, but like I've slept with, my guy friends, like 4 to a king size bed going sideways. Right?
Yeah.
Because those Asian guys were like 5'9". You're like, whoa, you're 5'9". Woo. So we've been asleep like sideways to a bed and whatever. But yeah, man. Like just people don't know when you enjoy motorcycling that much and you enjoy that process, we're not getting paid enough to be shuttled around at a nice hotel. Before we got on camera, you said that one of your favorite places from St. Louis.
Right.
I don't know if I've ever been to St. Louis. I think I might have driven past it. But if there's a spot you could locate to, where would you want to live today?
Today? It keeps changing. I went to Belize a couple of years ago for my birthday. I liked it there.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking maybe like Tennessee area, but I might make a trip down there first to see, because my girlfriend, she said she'd always wanted like retire in Asheville, North Carolina.
Right.
We went there last year, and I'm like expecting this great oasis of a place, and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I don't see the big draw here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna check out Tennessee. Plus, I know got the Smoky Mountains, Blue Ridge Parkway. Of course, I'm thinking I need someplace I'm gonna be able to ride.
Right.
Because I'm not giving up a bike.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't understand. Like people riding from out in Alaska. I'm like, why? You've got 2 weeks. Like, really?
Yeah, no, I can't. No.
No, right?
Yeah, I can't. I got to be able to ride a lot.
A lot. Now, let me ask you this question. If this podcast magically had 100,000 people listening, is there a message or something you'd like to plug that you want people to know out there?
You can check out my Instagram at Wattafoto, Wattafoto,
okay.
Or my Facebook page, same name. If you're in a foreign country that I haven't been to yet, I might need a place to stay. I'd like to see all the countries, maybe.
I think there's a website called couchsurf.com or something like that. Like it literally is like.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I used to joke with my VP, because my VP is known to be cheap, right? And he used to book the cheapest hotels for us. And I'd be like, if he finds about couchsurf.com, I go, we're screwed.
That sounds like my VP. He didn't even want to spend any money.
Yeah.
I'm like, but it's not even your money.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand.
He's like, I'm going to order lunch. It'll be one pizza for like 20 of us.
Yeah. No. That's real. And look,
two cheese pizzas.
There's no topping. Like, hey, did you pack a lunch today? Put some of that topping on. Why not here? Again, thanks for doing this. It's actually been pretty fun. More fun than I thought it would be. So
yeah,
so much.
I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, neither did I.
Especially coming from Dan.
Exactly. He just came up with this idea like last week, right? Like, Eric, man, you ever thought of doing a podcast? I'm like, no. Why? Well, you like bikes, right? I go, yeah, I have a 20-year-old bike. And then he's like, well, why don't you talk to my friend Tony? I went, oh, all right. Well, we'll give it a shot.
Come to some races. Get out of Canada.
I would love to. Once everything flows over. Who knows when that'll be?
Yeah. Hopefully soon.
Yeah. All right, cool, man. Thanks so much for your time.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Have a good night.
She didn't like the way I clean the dishes, so she usually does it. I don't think she likes the way I put stuff in the dishwasher.